Go ahead. How you doing?
Hi everyone, we're at NAMM 2025 and I'm here with Mikael at Freqport, and they have a couple of pretty interesting new products out.
Yeah.
Are the companies new or?
We launched the first product in January 2023, which is Freqport FT1, which is really swift. It's 8 real analog tubes, as you see in the box here. Connected to the computer via USB-C. You open it as a plug-in inside your door.
Yeah.
And the plug-in here is a controller so everything you do in the plug-in controls happens in the analog box here.
Okay.
So you can automate and recall all your settings.
What do you do with the physical buttons then?
So you can assign here. So I can assign my control, so I can say I assign number 1 here represents this knob. So now I assign that to the drive.
All right.
So you see I can have, this one is assigned to the harmonics, so I can do that if I want to use the controls. Yeah. And now with the new software update that coming out after NAMM, we enabled you to be able to stack 2 of those boxes together to have 8 analog tubes inside your door. So it's real analog tube for harmonics and saturation, and all recallable and automated from the computer.
That's cool. But you had frequency filters and stuff. Is that done digitally or in the?
So it's digital filters, but it's hardware filters.
Okay.
And the reasons why we chose digital filters is because they're actually a bit more accurate.
Yeah.
So with the analog filters, it's somehow a bit more limited on how you can put them. And so the filters are digital, but they're hardware filters as well in the box.
Okay.
Yeah. So here you can see, I can, now it goes straight into the drive, but I can also decide to turn on the filter, and then you can see the routing hits the filter. And now it's a high-pass filter. Obviously, you can choose low-pass or band-pass filter. And you have a filter on your dry signal pass as well.
That's really cool. The other new product you have is the Freqport.
So
the
freaking out. It's a freaking out because it's like an in-out box of freaking out, and we're actually launching this today. So actually the first little video I'm shooting of this launch. So it's been quite a process to make this box. At first glance, it looks like a sound card with 4 inputs and outputs, and then it's connected to the computer via USB-C, and it's also powered by USB-C. So a bit the same as with the tubes, but this box is not meant to be a sound card. It's not a sound card. This is for you to connect outboard equipment, and the software, our system, the freaking out, turns it into plugins inside your computer. And
so you get it like this.
So now I have opened, here you have the launchbox, so I connected all these units to the in-out boxes, and I opened up the grandchild, which is this one, and now open it up on the kick channel. So normally when you're using outboard equipment in your door, you need to do the setup, the routing, you need to calculate your latency time through the system depending on your buffer size. Some programs have a ping you send through and then it calibrates it. But all this hassle it takes a long time, and for many people it's very complicated. But the freaking out software and box here eliminates all of that. So you don't need to think about the routing and the latency and and also the inconsistent timing you have when you record. So it's actually a bit perfect. So you just open it, and even if you change your buffer size, it keeps on just being in sync. And when you record, your recording is exactly where it's supposed to be. So it eliminates a lot of time you use on this complex stuff, and you can use it for being creative and work a bit faster. So now it's basically, when you connected it, it's basically like opening a plugin. And of course it's not a plugin, but it makes the routing and the timing.
The efficiency of it.
Yeah, and the efficiency. And there's a little cool feature I like to show you. So when you open up the plugin, first then you can take a QR code, and then you can take your phone and you scan the QR code, and it brings up this thing on your phone where you can take a photo, and then that was a Fairchild, so take a photo of that, use photo and upload, and as long as your computer is connected to the internet, then that image will appear as the skin inside the plugin. So here, and it brings it to the cropping tool, so I can then crop my image like this. And then I apply the crop, and now the image of my hardware becomes a skin, which is my preset. I can save that preset, so I can open that again in another session. And what is really cool as well is that you can use the zoom tool here, and then you can actually go in and you can actually see exactly the positions where you left your knobs. So if you want to bring back the same positions of your hardware in another session, that's easy this way.
That's cool.
Yeah, and the box comes with a hardware mix as well, and a mid-side function.
Amazing.
Yeah, and a matrix, so you can reconfigure the routing of your outboard equipment. So if you want the compressor before the EQ, and then you can configure that. So yeah, that's a freaking out.
Standing here with Philip from Austrian Audio.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
I heard a rumor that you have a new product coming out today. Or?
Yes, shown to the public today, first time. It's the OCS10 large condenser studio microphone for the solo artist.
For the solo artist.
So be it a singer or instrumentalist, but for the people who are in front, who really need a microphone that brings out their performance the best way. It's based on the CKR12 capsule, so our ceramic ring large condenser capsule, but with a new design here. We have given the capsule more room at the top of the microphone so that we really have no reflections. We also have a total new electronic design here with a very fast circuitry that brings out the pristine sound of this capsule even better.
All right.
We have on the microphone, once again, a pad switch, the high pass filter, and also the polar pattern selector. All these selectors work like one of those rings from
Can I feel it?
Absolutely, do that.
That is really cool.
It's nice tactile feeling.
The solution is really nice.
So you can choose a polar pattern here from the ring if you want to do it directly. If you want to decide for the correct polar pattern after your recording, you can record the front and the back membrane again separately, and you do that by using the second output from the microphone. And it's a full-size XLR, so you don't need to fiddle with the 5-pole cable that you don't have on hand when you need it. Just record with the second output, and then you can have the 2 tracks, and then you load our plugin, for example, and you can decide which polar pattern you want to use. With our plugin, you can even do that depending on the frequency. So the microphone comes with this nice suspension here with this elastomer material that's very durable, holding the mic firmly while still absorbing the shocks very well. This spider shock mount also has this ball joint here in the back, and this comes in handy when you're recording an instrument, because you can bring the microphone in any position you want without having to add any additional hardware. You simply do that.
That's what it's all about. You need it needs to be simple and innovative to set up.
Exactly.
Can I
So
touch
for
that too?
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That's smart.
Wherever you need it, you do it.
Yeah.
Especially handy for instruments. If you're using it for voice, for vocalists, I'd recommend to use our new pop filter that also comes with the product.
Yeah.
It's a metal mesh, so very durable, frameless, so you get no reflections from the frame. And actually, this material has very good acoustic properties. So if you put it on, you barely hear any difference without the pop noises that are going missing, and it's magnetically attached, so it always sits in the very right position.
Yeah.
The microphone will be available in the second quarter of this year, and will retail for roughly $3,000.
How sensitive is it? You can have it for recording loud instruments and stuff too?
Absolutely. In the 0 dB position of the pad filter, you get up to 147 dB. If you put it to minus 10 dB, you get obviously 157. And this is by reducing the voltage on the capsule, actually, instead of the amplifier, so making the capsule less sensitive.
Yeah, so you get more headroom.
Really get more headroom. The minus 20 is then only the amplifier, because it can't reduce the capsule
that low
voltage so much, but this really helps if you want to bring it, for example, in front of some wind instruments. That comes in handy.
That's cool.
Microphone comes in a case where you also can store the pop filter and the spider inside. And for the microphone itself, we have this nice little box here, because we know that some people will store the microphone in the mic locker. So this is the part that goes in the mic locker then.
Perfect.
He's a bad man, but I can't deny the way he holds my hand and he grabs me. He has me by my heart. He doesn't mind I have a Las Vegas past. He doesn't mind I have a LA crass way about me. He loves me with every beat of his cocaine heart. Swimming pool glimmering, darling. White bikini off with my red nail polish. Watch me in the swimming pool, bright blue ripples. You sitting, sipping on your black crystal, oh yeah. Light of my life, fire of my loins. Be a good baby, do what I want. Light of my life, fire of my loins. Give me them gold coins, give me them and I'm coins. Off to the races, cases of Bacardi chasers, chasing me all over town. Casinos I'm wasted, facing time again on Rikers Island and I won't get out. Because I'm crazy, baby. I need you to come here and save me. I'm your little scarlet starlet, singing in the garden. Kiss me on my open mouth, ready for you.
Hi, I'm here with Neve, Joey. He's gonna show us a new interesting thing that might be a bit more available and achievable for people, maybe?
It is, yes. Yeah, so this is our latest product, the 88C.
Yeah.
Now, what this is it's 2 channels of 88R console compressor housed in a portable and convenient format. So this is very similar to our 88M. It's the same chassis, same design as our 88M preamp audio interface. So we've got 2 channels of VCA-based compression that come directly from that console channel strip. So the 88R, in case you don't know, is the big console that we have at Abbey Road and Capitol, all the world's top studios.
Yeah.
And of course, that's a fantastic sounding console, but for most end users, they're never going to get a chance to hear it because it's a very expensive, very large format console. Now we can bring that technology into a much more accessible format for end users in home studios to use in the 88C, basically.
Like bus powered, USB powered? Or?
It is, yeah. So that's one of the design choices that we went for was that this uses USB-C connection to provide power, and that can be bus powered from your computer. So if you don't have a power socket in your studio available, you can quickly just plug this into your computer.
Yeah.
It will receive enough power to power the unit, or you can plug it into any wall charger that you want, provided that it uses USB 3 spec.
Yeah.
So it makes it a lot more portable and accessible to use. So we use rotary pots, and we have push functions as well for additional layers of control. So we've got variable ratio, that goes all the way up to brick wall limiting. So you can turn this into a limiter. It's got a very fast attack as well that will go down to 0.1 milliseconds. So basically, if you want this to be a brick wall limiter, it can be. We also have a sidechain input as well, so you can trigger sidechain compression externally from this, or it can follow its internal sidechain, or you can link channels together as well. So if you wanted to create a stereo bus with this, it uses a unique VCA bus link, which is the same way that you link compressors on the 88R console. So basically there's no master relationship there. It is whichever loudest channel at any one moment becomes the trigger for the threshold bus. So it's quite a dynamic way to link to.
But how does
channels.
that work with ratio? If you have it stereo linked, are still the ratios
so
independent?
all the controls are still independent, but you can get them very close, and because the relationship allows for one to be the master at one moment and then another to be the master at the second moment, it doesn't matter about being very particular about matching them exactly. They will still organically flow together. And then you have the makeup gain adjustment for the output of each channel. We also have, from the 88R, we have something called adaptive attack technology. And this basically has two separate attack curves for different input levels of signal. So if you have a signal that is 4 dB above the threshold, that will trigger a faster attack versus signals that are below that. And you can even change that.
What is the thought behind that? What is the benefit?
It basically gives you a more a smoother response and a more. Let's say if you were doing a drum kit, for example, and you suddenly had a very loud hit, that would trigger a quicker attack time so that the compressor responds to it fast without affecting the rest of the signal that is below that threshold. So it's very unique design, and you can fine tune it by changing it to even faster attack. So it's called fast attack, but really it's fast and very fast. So we have
faster,
fast and faster, yeah, exactly. So you can modify the attack curves there, and we also have auto release too, which basically that uses triple time constant technology, which is 3 sets of capacitors that all respond differently and charge at different rates depending on the signal. So when you push that in real musical terms, what that gives you is a set and forget. You turn it on for vocals, full program material. The release is just completely almost transparent. You don't hear the compressor working.
I tried it on the vocals you had here on the computer, and it was very. I mean, it was hard to fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it. It's a natural sounding compressor. When you activate that, that's something you can just quickly switch in, and it works right away. You know,
that's amazing.
One of the new things that we added was the high pass filter here. So in order for this to be used for a lot of program material or different instruments, you can fine tune the sidechain of the compressor. So it's completely off, meaning the full band is compressed. Or we have 80 hertz, 125 or 300. So this allows you to kind of tune the compressor so it doesn't respond to unwanted bass frequencies, basically.
And it's those values are just like in the manual. So
yes, exactly. It's a 12 dB per octave curve to filter out those frequencies. You can also see here the metering that we have. So we've got input metering. We've got the gain reduction meters, which are up to 50 dB. So there's a heavy amount of compression you can apply. And then you have the output meters here. So if I turn this up, you'll notice as well what we can do is if you can do a true bypass. And then the meters go to like a halo color.
I didn't reflect over that when I tried it, but that's
so that gives you a clear indication that you're in bypass mode, and then you can reactivate the compressors, and then you get the full traffic light coloring coming back in.
Do I dare asking what the price point is?
So just under £900 and 12.45 for dollars.
But thank you so much for the walkthrough.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, likewise.
A couple of years ago, maybe 1.5 years ago. I want to see if you have some new stuff coming out with Audioscape, and you said you have. So let's geek out.
Well, a couple weeks ago we announced the stereo EQP 2A. So this is a stereo Pultec equalizer in one box. It still looks like a mono unit, but it has stereo function. which is really handy for anyone who's trying to save some rack space.
Yeah.
I do want to say it doesn't sound any different than our mono units.
Yeah.
It's literally the same exact classic circuit you get, but now you get, and it's literally like even the same boards. All we did was expand the case in depth.
The depth. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
And I think that's something that we've had requested ever since we released the mono units back in 2019. Everyone's been bothering me. A lot of friends of mine are like, just make it stereo. So I finally took the time.
It makes sense because it takes up a lot of rack space and everything. I mean,
yeah, it makes complete sense. And just, a lot of people love using these on groups.
Yeah.
They love using them on a mixed bus. So just having one stereo control for left and right, it makes sense. It's a great piece to have. It's also great to have dual mono. We're still selling the EQPAs.
Yeah.
They're both equally useful. Some people, they want separate controls.
Of course.
And dual mono is great too. So having more options is something that we're sort of exploring and showcasing at this NAMM.
Yeah.
With that in mind, we also announced just about an hour ago.
Oh, really?
Our deluxe expanded E-Series bus comp. This is coming later this year. This one is already released, but this one's coming. You'll be able to get it probably summer, sometime around then. And what's unique about this is obviously a lot more options than our standard G series.
Yeah.
But we actually reverse engineered and properly did a reproduction of the 202C gold cans.
Yeah.
We found the original parts and the original transistors that go in these, and that's a critical component of the sound. And not only did we, when we had like a couple years of R&D doing this, we found like the schematic that's posted online it's not actually the same as like what is going on inside one of these. So we had to like depot it and hand draw a schematic off of the original one, which is quite a process. And we found
is that something maybe a stupid question, that's something you're gonna sell as separate parts maybe?
Yeah, so like there's people with MCI consoles and that, these are exact one-to-one drop-ins, the exact same as the gold can. So if someone's got like a need for a gold can, that, of course, we'll take care of them. Just email us, and I think that's important whenever you redo something like this, that people can get serviceable parts for the future. I think that's
amazing.
Yeah. And they really are amazing, and like modern transistors sound a lot different than those dual ones.
Yeah.
And I noted that firsthand when we first did this. I tried it with modern transistors, and it sounded different.
Yeah.
And like we were luckily able to find a good catch of those obsolete. I mean, these things have been obsolete 30, 40 years. So obviously the options we've added are pretty much kitchen sink on this thing too. We've added a slam control, which is like a heavy ratio, like 20-to-1 with makeup gain. Already like, it really, like the title says, slams the compression very hard. And then of course there's a link control, and there's a blend control, which I think having the slam and these two are kind of tied. Like you're gonna want to tweak it back, obviously. We've added a stereo width control. We tried a couple different stereo width circuits. We found one that was really useful. That is new, Yeah, and what's great though is some people, if they don't want it, they can pull it out and you can completely omit it.
Yeah.
So if you're not about stereo width, first of all, this is a killer stereo width circuit. It's the best one, like I said, but if you don't want it, you can just omit it altogether. And then, of course, we have 6 ratio times. Yeah, 6 ratios rather, and then 11 attack times and release times, and 6 sidechain high-pass filter values. And
so if you go with the slam, does it bypass the regular ratio, or do they work together in some way?
I believe they do actually. Yeah, everything still works if you hit slam. It's just so you can even get different degrees of just
different.
And of course, on 10 here, it's just going to be probably completely insane. But that's part of the fun of it. Just going too far and then going back. So we have the same. These are actually the same transformers we're using in our AS78.
Yeah.
I really like the saturation on these, and there's a little bit more transformer, grit you can get with that. And we've gone with the traditional 3-button. Here we still have. I know one of the ones on the original is an external sidechain. That's still on the back too. It's just a switch jack.
All right.
So we felt it was just easier if you plug the cable in and it switches. You don't need a switch up front for that.
Of course.
So then we replaced where that would be with the iron, switch. But you still have that traditional look, which is great, key. And more sidechain filter values people always seem to want more of those. So.
Does the sidechain also affect the width, or? I mean, if I use stereo wideners, I usually don't want to widen the lower frequencies. So I was wondering if that.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, basically whatever's being affected.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, thank you for coming. It's nice to see you again. You came back and I think you were one of the first people to interview us when we were on the back wall there, you know? And just a little small company doing something. And,
I think it was Nashville was the first time.
Nashville, yes.
That was amazing.
That was a small booth too.
Yeah.
So it's just nice to have you back here, when we're growing and we're getting, bigger booths than that, but it's just cool to see the growth
cool.
on everything, on all of us,
Hello, we're here with Audient and Adam. Nice to see you. I think this is the first time I meet you since you started working with them.
Yeah, maybe I saw you in last year's NAMM very briefly, but it's all a blur.
Yeah, it's a blur. You came out with a new interface?
Yes, this is our latest and greatest. This is our new baby.
Yeah.
This is ID48. People have been asking us for a long time for a rack-mounted interface, 8 channels, and we waited until it was perfect. Because it was one of those things, we could rush it, it would be wrong, and then it's wrong forever. So now it's perfect. And so this has 8 of our console preamps from that console you see over there. And so they sound absolutely fantastic. But then this is the real killer feature for me. Yeah. These are the inserts on every channel.
All right.
And so obviously when you're tracking, you can use them with compressors, EQs, that kind of thing. But there is a switch for every channel in the software to turn off the mic preamp and then mix with them.
Oh, so
Yeah, so it send and return for 8 mixed channels.
Nice.
So you can have all of those, instead of plugins, you can work with real hardware in your DAW. We've also got 4 outputs for monitors, so you can switch between a main pair and a second pair. There's even a button to just change to your second pair.
Okay.
There's 2 sets of headphone outputs, of course word clock, 16 ADAT in, 16 ADAT out, so you can have the full studio running off.
32 in and out.
24 in
24
and 32 out, yeah.
Math is not my strongest side.
And take a guess how much it costs.
Oh.
For this that does everything.
1,300?
999.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say, 1,000, because you kind of gave it away when I was guessing. I was like, that's probably wrong, so I don't want to embarrass you. But
No. But that was part of the fun, is that we like to make things that are really, really good, that don't cost way too much money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a premium product. We also have things like the Evo 16, which is maybe half the price, and that's really great value.
Yeah,
but
this
is the premium insert console pre's. This is the kind of the flagship right now of this is, we think, the best sound you can get without spending silly, crazy money.
Is there like a specific reason why you did the whole interface totally different from the Evos? Like here you have knobs for each instead of.
So the ID family all have the knobs with the analog preamps. And so that keeps the cost down for the console preamps.
Yeah.
It's a different design of preamp in the Evos, which are designed in a way that's much easier to control digitally. Whereas these are the same gain knobs from that console. They just these are grey and those are blue.
Okay.
But it's exactly the same up until just before the EQ section. The console, of course, costs the same as 20 of these. So that's where all the features over there. You get value for money, but it's big.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and so they're going to be available in about 6 weeks.
In 6 weeks?
Yeah.
That's pretty soon.
It's finished and it's on the boat to all the distributors.
That's really cool.
So yeah, we're really looking forward to what people are saying about them.
I really like you said you can switch the inserts and just use them as.
That's right. And you can
really
remotely
smart.
just switch off the inserts, so you can use a compressor and AB, turn it off, without having to change any patching. It's just.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks, man.
Take care.